All right, so here's a response to a couple of objections that people have raised up. So firstly, I'm going to my last video where I talk about the very clear, incontrovertible, incontestable nature of God in the Quran. The nature of God in the Quran is that he's a physical, concrete being sitting upon his throne above the dome of the flat earth in the highest heaven. That is what God teaches about himself. And it stands to reason that if God is a physical, concrete being, then everything else is a physical, concrete being, because there's nothing else, there's nothing greater or transcendent above God. This is nonsense, okay? So the first objection is that, oh, Waleed, you don't believe anything that you don't see. No, it's not that I don't believe anything I don't see. The Quran talks on and on about unseen realities. Judgment Day is an unseen reality. The garden is an unseen reality. Hell is an unseen reality. God himself is an unseen reality. As far as I know, I have not seen his form, and I can't. The angels are an unseen reality. I believe in unseen realities. It's not that I don't believe anything I don't see. I'm not coming out here like the atheist, okay? I believe in unseen realities, but you have to take this away. This is key here. An unseen reality is very different from a non-physical reality or a reality that transcends all physical reason or all physical phenomenon, okay? I'll give you an example. Excuse me. So I have a really big scar on my right leg. All right. Most of the bottom part of my right leg, a big portion of it has been eaten away. Now, if I ever pulled up my pant leg in front of you guys, you would see it. But so far, the majority of you watching this video have never seen the scar on my leg. This scar, as far as you know, to you is an unseen reality. The scar on my right leg, you guys have never seen it. Now, does it transcend physical reality? Is it a non-physical reality? Is it some supra metaphysical reality? No, it's just an unseen reality. It's something that has not been revealed to you. Another example is phone calling. If I were to phone call my wife, clearly it's not an instantaneous transmission. There's something from my cellular device which is traveling to her cellular device that is allowing my voice to be transmitted over to her. Okay? It's not instantaneous. There's something carrying that voice. This is known as radio waves. Now, radio waves and radio communication, these are more or less unseen realities. At least I think you need some kind of special technology in order to see them, but they're unseen. There's something taking my voice over to her. It's physical. It's not a non-physical transcendental reality, but it's nonetheless a physical reality. It's not non-physical. It's not metaphysical, okay? So an unseen reality is simply something that you have not seen. It's something that has been hidden from you by God. So that would go for angels. Angels in their original form, we know that they have 2, 4, and 6 wings. How they exactly look like, I don't think any of us knows because God has not revealed that to any of us. How God himself looks like, nobody knows. How the garden looks like, nobody knows, but God gives us descriptions, physical descriptions. How hell looks like, nobody knows, but God gives us physical descriptions. These are all unseen realities, not non-physical. These are things that have been hidden from our sight, at least as of now, which may or may not be revealed in the afterlife after we die. So that is just a quick objection to that. As for the soul and the spirit, all I have to say about the soul is, like I said before, my understanding of the soul is that it is the free agency, the free agency being at his level of more or less free will, where he can choose either right or wrong. It's not a ghost inside of you. There's nothing in the Quran that says it's a ghost inside of you. And where the Quran says that the soul returns back to God when it is when you're sleeping, then it comes back to you. I would just say it's your free agency that returns back to God. When you're conscious and aware, you have some kind of operative control over what you do. You have some free agency. When you're asleep, you have no control whatsoever. And of course, God controls all things in the meta level, but you have no operative even control at all. When you're asleep, your free agency completely returns back to God, and he can either give it back to you or he can keep it with himself and you die. And even still, the soul, it doesn't say the soul is non-physical. The soul is, God says, it's something that you know very little about. They ask thee of the soul, and we have given thee very little knowledge. That's what the Quran says, and that's my stance on it. We've been given very little knowledge. However, I do know what the Quran does not say about it, and it does not say it's a non-physical reality. So even if it's of some kind of a subtler nature, something that is hidden to the eyes, but is nonetheless has some kind of physical concrete existence, that's okay. That's fine. I can accept that. Or the spirit that God has blown into man. Once again, does not say it's a non-physical reality. That is my stance on the matter. I do believe in the unseen. I've accepted the Quran, so I have to believe in the unseen, but I don't believe in transcendental metaphysics, a supra physical reality, something that is beyond all five of the senses. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, and that's found nowhere in the scriptures. And anybody who wants to challenge me on that theological view, on that more or less that kind of worldview that I'm coming at it, which I understand this as Quranic. You can debate me on the matter. Email me, eyeswideopen145@gmail.com, and we can set up a debate, because I'm not going to do individual answers in the comments section, nor am I going to delete the comments, because I don't want people to think, oh, I'm a coward, I'm just running away. No, I'm not running away from anything. Anyone who has an issue with what I'm saying, feel free to email me, eyes wide open. We will set up a debate and we will put it on my channel if your position is worth entertaining. If it is not, if you don't have the guts to stand up for it, nor do you have the guts to put your name and your face out there while debating me, then as far as I know, your position is not really even worth it. It's not worth it, okay? For this topic, I am going off more or less the definition of metaphysics given by A.J. Ayer. He is a logical positive out of the Vienna School. I write about him in the Flat Earth Manifesto. Now, obviously, I do not agree with the logical positivists on everything. I do not agree with the Vienna Circle on everything. Certainly don't agree with A.J. Ayer on everything. These guys were predominantly atheists. They were predominantly atheists. However, I was introduced to this by Drake, and I have to agree. I've read their works myself. I comment on them in the Flat Earth Manifesto, because metaphysics has everything to do with the issue of flat Earth, because the globe earther is obsessed with metaphysics. It is his most enthusiastic preoccupation. All this stuff about space and time, it's all metaphysics. It's all transcendental realities outside of all physical categories that he loves to talk about. So these guys, A.J. Ayer in particular, in his Language, Truth, and Logic, he gives the most concise refutation of metaphysics. You can check it out yourself. And he shows that the majority of metaphysical speculation, if not all metaphysical speculation, that has been done through the history of philosophy is completely fruitless. It's completely fruitless. It's just mistakes in grammar, mistakes in categorization, mistakes in language, and it's literally fruitless. It is fruitless. And when you study the Quran and the Bible, you see that the Quran and Bible do not teach metaphysics whatsoever. So that is the definition of metaphysics I'm going off of is a definition of A.J. Ayer. Doesn't mean I condone everything A.J. Ayer says. He's a logical positivist atheist, okay? But nonetheless, that definition is fairly accurate, and that's what I'm going with. Metaphysics is something that transcends physical reality, something that is outside the limits of all physical reality. That is metaphysics, and anything that falls in that category, as far as I know, is useless. So if you want to know further about the stance I've taken on metaphysics, you can check out Language, Truth, and Logic by A.J. Ayer. And like I said, from there on, anybody who has an issue with what I'm saying, I know what I'm saying is Quranic. That's why I'm challenging any single one of you and every single one of you to a debate. You have an issue with what I'm saying, you think it's unQuranic, cool, I'll take the correction. Just come on live, let's discuss it, bring your points, bring your notes, and bring your evidence, and I'll bring mine. And we'll see which ideology is stronger. But I know my understanding is absolutely what the Quran teaches. It's absolutely what the Quran teaches. So that's why I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. So anybody else who has an issue, you can come on and have a debate with me. And if not, then I'm not going to entertain your positions in the comment section. That's really how I'm going to do things going forward. If anybody has an objection to what I say, just go straight to my email and challenge me to a debate, and God willing, I'll make the time for it, okay? I'm not going to respond to individual comments. I'm not going to get into debates on YouTube comment sections. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I want to hear your voice, and I want to be able to concisely present my arguments publicly, and I want you to concisely present yours publicly. So anyways, that's all I have to say on the matter, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and blessings.